They're all border collies, working bred border collies for sheep. They're not just a show dog. No, they get pretty well petted though. Got the Gypsy off first. You see how she stalks those sheep? She doesn't need any guidance from me. She just immediately goes over there and works those sheep. She just looks up to see where I am every now and again. So that is just instinct. That's not training. People say, how do you train your dogs to do that? Probably good trainers could teach any dog to work sheep. I don't know, but I don't think I could. But it's just an inbuilt instinct that they just desire wherever those sheep go, or chooks, or ducks, or pigs, or anything. They want to hit them. They'll always go to the head. people get collies or kelpies, and they say, oh, the dog's no good because all he does is keep bringing the sheep back to me, or he keeps running in the front. But that's the idea. You walk in front and let the dog do the work. Excuse me. The rest is just obedience, training. Yeah, just to come to you, follow you around. You always do it on a lead, so you teach them to stop, sit and stay. And then you go to a pen, or either that or you get a quieter older dog that holds your sheep together like this, and then you let your pup run around. The pup will just actually run around and around, but you always try and stay close to your sheep, because you don't want your dog going between you and the sheep. If you put a dog in a dog trial, in a three sheep dog trial, once he crosses between you and the sheep, you're immediately disqualified and you've done your day. So you don't want your dog crossing in between you, the sheep and yourself. We trial these dogs. This one's only ever had one trial. She had one run just for experience. She's only 17 months old, and they're not really got their brain in tune until they're about 2 years old. Then they're really, once they mature, they can handle a little bit of pressure, because sometimes you get sheep that will actually stand up to the dog, and if that dog gets, the sheep will actually chase the dog if the dog's not strong enough to stand up to it. And if that happens, it sort of spoils your dog if it's at a young age. So it needs to be 2-year-old really. So generally when you trial a young dog, you make sure if the sheep are a bit tough, you generally just walk off, call it quits. So what we put sides on a dog, I always use a long stick or a flapper, and all it is just it's an extension, and it just blocks it. Sit, sit, sit. That's it, sit. That's it, go. Sit. Jip. Sit. Stay there. Stay there. Stay. Jip. Jip. That's it, go. Jip. Now you can see she's not scared of that stick. I haven't flogged her with it or anything like that. As soon as people see you with a stick, they think, oh, you're going to use a... And most times you use the stick. Come here, Gypsy. Their strongest desire is to go and work. Gypsy, Gypsy. That's their strong... Sit, sit, stay, stay there. Their strongest desire is to go around those sheep. So you've got to come in between that. You've got to be more important than her desire to sheep. And you don't get a dog like that by belting him, or if he does the wrong thing, you call him to you and he doesn't come. You call him to you and he doesn't come. Gypsy, sit in, sit. Stay there. That's teaching your dog to be disobedient. If he's not coming to you and you keep calling him, he thinks, well, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to come to him. So you call him once or twice, 3 times. If he doesn't come to you, wait till you can catch it. Catch the dog or female, whatever one you've got. Put a lead on him, call him to you, give him a bit of a tug, and then say, good dog. No good going over there, putting a lead in on him, or if he comes to you in the end and you're just really head up and in a bad mood and you give him a flogging, well, you're just teaching him he doesn't want to come to you. So you just got to use your common sense. Your dog doesn't come to you, catch your dog, put him on a lead, then call him and bring him up to you. It's just their main desire is to work, most times. And your Kelpies are terrific dogs. Some lines of them are better than others. they've bred them now that they're just erratic. They get so mad for work. Yeah, they're hard to control. They've lost the control in them. You get better lines. You get hey. You get some stronger, better lines of. It's same as in your college. You can get dogs that are a bit erratic. Don't have a cool, calm disposition. Get away. Get away. This microphone sort of bamboozles them a bit. Get away. There's some lines of collies you can get the odd ones that are just erratic and aren't calm, but the Kelpies are just a little bit more high strung. They work harder. They'll outwork any collies. Most collies are a bit under the shade when your Kelpie's still out there working. But they are harder, and because they're an Australian bred dog, everybody wants a Kelpie. But unless you get the right type of Kelpie, you can have a lot of trouble with it because they just get too strong. They're just too harder to handle. Never work your dogs. If you want a good paddock dog, you don't work your paddock dog in a yard until they've got a bit of age on them, 15 to 20 months of age. Then you can work them in the yard, teach them to back and push sheep up. If you go the other way, you work them in the yard first, they won't work out in the paddock near as good. They'll always want to come in too much and they'll want to push your sheep too much. Get away. She's a nice little dog because see how she stand up to those sheep. She'll come up, she doesn't really bite hard, but she'll just give them a little bit of she'll put her nose right up to them, which is pretty good, plenty of strength. You don't want a dog that comes in and bites too hard. Some dogs will actually just grab them right on the nose and they'll actually draw blood. Good for a cattle dog, but not so good for sheep dogs, and you lose points in trials. The sheep can actually charge your dog, and then your dog grabs the sheep as he charges. But if your dog goes in and grabs your sheep before the sheep charges him, you lose points. So you've got to have a pretty strong dog who'll just stand up to a sheep and just stand there. And actually the sheep will just about put its nose on the dog before the dog will actually do anything. So it's a pretty good strong dog that'll do that. Not many of them will do it. A lot of them sort of jump in and try and frighten the sheep. Now sheep dogs, especially in the summertime, you want your dog no fatter than what she is. She could do with a little bit more meat on it, but she gets fed as much as the other or more than the others, but she doesn't seem to put the weight on it. She's very active, probably more active than the other dogs. It doesn't matter where I go, she'll always just keep those sheep toward to me. It's just a hunting instinct. And these pups, a lot of times they'll work your chooks and work chooks until they get them in a corner, and then they'll end up biting them, plucking them, and they end up killing them. They can use hand signals like that, or you can say, come over, come back, come back, come back, come back, stop, over, get over, get over. So when you train your dogs, or if you're any dog, doesn't matter if it's a little lap dog or what, if you just teach them to sit, stop or stay, you've got to have them in a controlled environment. You've got to either have them in a little pen or on a leash. Because once they find out they can get away from you, they just become disobedient.
Just like kids, right?
Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Rate me, comment me, love me and subscribe. Subscribe to Greg.